Okay.
Okay. Hi, Melissa and Irma. I see. Hi, Francesca.
Hello.
Oh. Hi.
All right.
So, Francesca, I've got practically my whole family here on this call.
Wow, this is exciting. Do you want to introduce them?
Yeah, I'll give it another, Maureen, whenever you, a few more minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting a really great gathering at 1 minute into your session, Heather. You're so very popular, or should I say Patrick's Creme Brulee is so very popular. I'm going to also be putting a vegan version on the invite, and then I'll email it out to crew. So if anybody's unable to partake in the deliciousness of cream and eggs, there's a lower fat vegan version that we have available to everyone. And maybe 1 more minute, Patrick. And then if everybody could pin Patrick, which is just going to the little blue box with the 3 dots in the right-hand corner of Patrick's name, and just putting pin the video. That way it's really easy to see him. And I think we're ready, Heather. If you want to introduce your beautiful family, I'm very excited to start.
Okay. Well, like I said, I think I have my whole family on this call today because we're all big Creme Brulee fans, and I heard it's Francesca's favorite dessert as well, so that's great. I'd like to introduce my nephew, Patrick. Patrick is an awesome chef. He's the chef in the family. He actually cooked a Thanksgiving dinner for his family as well, my sister and her husband, and his brother and sister, so that's exciting. In addition to Patrick, I also have Sophie, my niece, who's cooking from Agora. And then I have my son, Karsten, who is sitting on his bed and he's going to watch the whole experience from down the hall. But with that said, I'll have Patrick introduce himself. Patrick, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? How old are you?
Patrick, I'm 13 years old. I live in Palos Verdes. Yeah, that's right. And I go to Chadwick School. I'm in 8th grade.
How long? Oh, great. How long have you been cooking for?
Couple years. I don't know exactly.
I think it's been a long time. Yeah, about a couple of years. And how long have you been making creme brulee?
Maybe like a year or 2.
Oh, have you memorized the recipe?
Yeah, because it's a really simple recipe.
Okay. Well, simple, but so good. So I can't wait to see you in the kitchen. I've never seen you make it. I've only eaten it. Okay, so go for it. Hopefully Sophie can follow along.
Okay, so the first thing you need to do, so let me put the camera down, is you have to get your vanilla bean, which is right here. It's like 12 packages in it. Okay, you take your vanilla bean. You have a knife, that's probably easier just to get it out. take your vanilla bean and your knife, and you cut it from the center on either direction. Then you just scrape out the seeds and add them to your pot. You could also add the vanilla bean pod in there too to add more flavor. And then you will add your cream, which is 1 quart. And then you will bring that to a boil over medium-high heat. In the meantime, you will have to separate some eggs. You need 6 egg yolks. You just separate the eggs. And you can use the egg whites for like scrambled eggs or maybe like a meringue or a cake or anything you really want to do.
So Patrick, you do that with such ease.
Oh yeah.
I have such a problem separating my yolk from my white.
Okay, so what you do is, I'll demonstrate with this one. What you do is you would crack it on a flat surface, and then ideally you would have a crack along the outside that is relatively in the middle, and then you would make a smaller crack with your fingernail to get an opening, and then you would just open it up, and whatever the yolk side is on, you just keep it there. And then if there's still white, you can just transfer it to the other one. And then you tilt it and let the thicker white hang off, and then you can switch it again, and then that'll ideally just hang off and fall off. And then you'll just have a yolk.
So Sophie, are you following along? Are you able to crack those eggs and get that egg white separated as quickly as Patrick? I can't hear you. It doesn't look like she is. She's moving too fast.
She's definitely muted.
Also,
Yeah.
one more thing. If the thicker yolk kind of is like that little white hangy thing, if you don't want that, you can just press your finger against the outside of the shell and kind of cut it off with the shell. And then it'll just fall into the egg whites.
That is such a great tip. Thank you, Patrick.
Welcome.
Wait, Patrick, have you ever gotten a double yolk?
Oh yeah, there was this one time where I had a entire carton of eggs, and 6 of them were double yolks. We think that it was just from the chicken. It was like a genetics thing where the chicken laid most of the eggs, and it had like a genetics thing that made it have double yolks. The next thing you need to add egg yolks is 1/2 cup of sugar. I should have mentioned earlier is preheat your oven to 325. So you should probably start doing that right now. Preheating your oven, and then 1/2 cup of sugar. And you would sprinkle in the 1/2 cup of sugar slowly into the egg yolks. And once you whisk it and add the sugar thoroughly, it should become lighter in color and reach the ribbon stage. The ribbon stage is when you can hold the whisk up, and the egg yolks and sugar will fall in a ribbon on top of each other. It'll take like maybe 2 minutes of whisking vigorously. Now would also be a good time to add a pinch of salt to bring out the flavors. Whisk that together. Working. No. But after it gets thick, it's kind of a workout. Just burn off those calories that you're eating creme brulee from. Is there any questions at this point or no?
Patrick, is it okay to use a hand blender, or should you use it? I mean, the way you're doing it now.
You could use the electric mixer that we get it.
Hey, Patrick, we can't hear you, so you have to come back to your bowl to answer those questions.
You could use an electric mixer like this. It would take less time, but there's not that much time doing this anyway. But if you're in a hurry, then you could use the hand blender. It'll take like 30 seconds.
And it should be done on the lower settings, right? Should not be on the very fast setting, I believe.
It should be about medium, because if you're really in a big hurry, you could
Okay.
go for like medium, high. But high speed may not be the best option because
It might become frothy. That's right. Okay, got it. Thank you.
now.
So Patrick, we have a couple of questions here.
Mhm.
What other items what other food items do you make? What other dishes do you cook besides creme brulee?
Steak, sandwiches,
That's right. You love steak.
and potatoes. I make potatoes. Sauce. Last night I made a red wine butter sauce from pork drippings and pork roast.
Wow.
And now our milk is boiling. You can turn it down to. You can turn the heat off. Take a ladle and.
Hey, okay, real quick, Nori, can you move the camera so we can see what it looks like when the egg goes into the milk? Ooh, yeah, nice.
Well,
Beautiful.
we can put it right here. So what you do actually is you pour some of the milk into eggs. It's called tempering the eggs. So doing this makes it so that the eggs don't scramble, because if you put these eggs right into the milk right now, they would scramble like scrambled eggs. You want to slowly bring up the temperature of the eggs so that it doesn't scramble and become hard. So it's about
Have you ever scrambled the eggs?
I've never scrambled it completely, but there usually is some bits there. Once you put some in, then you just whisk it back into the milk. Something you could do, what you need to do now is start putting a kettle full of water on to boil. To use for the hot water bath for when the creme brulee cooks. The hot water bath is meant to keep it like a lower temperature, because if the creme brulees are sitting in a water bath around it. Then the water will never exceed 212 degrees, and that'll cook it more gently than if it wasn't without, because then the outside would be really hot, like 325, and that could like burn, like dry out the edges. The steam from it also helps keep the top from getting dried out. So now, what we need to do is just wait for the water to boil. So in the meantime, we could ask Jamie if there's any questions.
So, Patrick, one question is, this is really exciting, and everybody can feel your passion for cooking. Do you plan on becoming a chef?
Oh yes.
Yeah. You gonna open up your own restaurant?
Maybe. I don't know for sure because I don't know exactly what type of food I would be making.
Okay. Okay. Do you like
Well, Patrick, sorry, Patrick, I'm going to let you know right now, whatever you make, whenever you open, please send me an invite. I will be your first guest and customer, okay? You are making this look so amazing.
Oh, you're on mute, Patrick.
Something that I do is that I make and sell ice cream with different flavors. And you can get custom flavors of whatever you want. Like you can mix match flavors like chocolate cookie dough and stuff. Because since you make it yourself, like I sell it, you can make any flavor you want. So you can request like coffee chocolate chip or like coffee cookie dough or whatever you want really. There's also berry sorbet, and I may start selling creme brulee too.
Mm-hmm. What's your most popular ice cream flavor? Sorry.
Most popular is probably coffee or chocolate peanut butter. Cookie dough is also popular.
Francesca, you had a question?
I'm just so impressed with Patrick. You made it look so easy, and to me, this is passion at its best, and really impressed about you. How did you decide you want to get into cooking?
I think that when my brother had his friends over to work on projects and stuff, I used to just like make food and they would eat it, and I just liked making food and having other people like it.
Wow. Yeah, I'm the opposite. When I make food, when they eat out of sympathy. It's like, oh my, she spent so much time in the kitchen. Let's just eat it so she won't feel so bad.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's what happens here too. Poor Karsten.
So who else cooks at home? Patrick, does anybody else cook like you at home?
Not really.
Well, your mom's a good cook. My sister has a degree, I think a degree in nutrition from Cornell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's a big foodie herself.
Really, right?
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. So we can order all those things. Do you have a menu that you can send to us at some point?
For the ice cream or
Everything you make.
everything I make? Sure.
Yep. Okay. We'll be on the lookout for that. Thank you.
Okay.
So,
Water spoiling.
Heather, Patrick is like a couple of minutes away from me. I think I should go and taste the cream brulee once he's done. Mitra, what say?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I was just kidding. I said I'm at PV and you are at, I'm at PCH. So I was just kidding that I can come over and taste the cream brulee that you're making right now. Just kidding.
yeah, that's cute. Yeah, anybody in the vicinity of TV, How many creme brulees does this recipe make?
I pretty much only did one. I didn't really, actually, I think I did 2 recipes. I tried 2 because one time, this was usually the recipe that I have, but one time I didn't have the right amount of cream, so I had to look up a different recipe. It's basically the same ratios, so it didn't change.
Oh, yeah, but how many ramekins can your recipe?
Ramekins, like, I don't know for sure, but we'll see.
Okay, because I mean, we're a big office, and we're going to need a lot of creme brulee.
Yeah. So one more thing that you might need to do here is strain the creme brulee.
Oh my gosh, Sophie is looking so stressed out. Sophie, are you okay? I can't hear you.
She's still muted.
Yeah, I know. She's looking. Patrick, I think you're going to have to do some offline counseling.
Okay. Wait, Sophie, what do your eggs look like? Yeah, just keep whisking them. That's all you really need to do. Wait, did you add the sugar yet or no? You did, okay. So you just need to whisk them until they lighten in color and are kind of thick.
How many sugars do you have, Patrick?
Sugars? So I have, how many sugars? So I do have normal white sugar, but I also have a vanilla sugar, which is in the fridge. Let me see.
Oh, just got missing.
What are you looking for? Right. So vanilla sugar is basically when you take vanilla beans, like these, and you stick them in the sugar and it flavors the sugar with vanilla. But there's also some other sugars that I got at a spice merchant store, like strawberry sugar and lemon sugar. So you could do different flavors. So here's an example of the vanilla sugar. There are vanilla bean pieces in it, and it smells like vanilla, so you could use that. Also, I just turned it off. Wait, no, don't turn it off. So the next thing you're gonna need to do for the creme brulee is strain the base. Okay, so the best strainer to use for this would be a fine mesh strainer, also known as a chinois. These are very, very fine mesh, so it'll strain out all bits and pieces. You can just strain it back into the original container of cream. So you'll just take it here. You can just pour it in. If you really want to, you could scrape the seeds on the bottom, because most of the vanilla seeds will settle on the bottom, and if you want most of those in your creme brulee, you could scrape them into here. Okay, now the water is boiling. So what you'll need to do is take a pan, place your ramekins inside. Also, if you don't have enough ramekins, you can get these disposable ones here. They work the same. And
What happens if you don't have a ramekin or anything that looks like a ramekin?
so what I've done before is just made one like big creme brulee in like a big pan like this. And that way you
Ooh.
get more crunchiness on top. But more traditionally, it's served in these ramekins. So just for an example, I'll just be doing 3 here. In here. And you would just fill each one up to the little line on top of the ramekin.
You're so far away, Patrick. Can you move closer?
Sure. You just fill it to the line on each ramekin. And by line, I mean on this ramekin here, there is a small rim. You would just fill it up to there. So now that we have our ramekins filled, we can take our boiling water hot, and pour it halfway up the sides of the ramekins. Just make sure you don't get any inside the creme brulee because that probably won't be good. So now that we have the creme brulees ready, you could space them out to be more even. And then from there, it's into our 325-degree oven. This will cook for 40 to 45 minutes. So just set your timer to 40 and then check on it when it's 40. And if it needs 5 more minutes, then go 5 more minutes. But at 45, definitely take it out. To know it's ready, it should tremble, should be set on the outside, but should still be jiggly on the inside. And since these will take 45 minutes, I already have some others made. Here. So I'll be doing a demonstration of the torching. Is there any questions so far? Questions?
I want to know from my coworkers, how many of us went out and got a blowtorch in, I'm looking forward to making this creme brulee with Patrick.
Oh my God, I'm totally gonna do this, Heather. It's Peter's favorite dessert and it looks really, Patrick, you've made it look so easy. So excited to try it.
Thank you. So to torch it, we'll take.
Patrick, I have a question. What happens if we don't have a blowtorch?
Oh, if you don't have a blowtorch, you can.
No.
You can broil it, which I would demonstrate right now, except we already have some creme brulees in the oven right now. So, unless we can use the bottom one, but that's not ready to be used right now. So, right now we will just be torching this one. Any other questions? Any questions? No?
I think Sophia has a question.
Yes?
Let's talk about potentially scrambled eggs.
Okay.
We know if our eggs are, if we've messed up.
If your eggs become like, Sophie, are all of your eggs like coagulated? Can I see it? Oh, a little bit on the edge is fine. That's fine. As long as your milk looks thickened and there aren't a lot of chunks, then it's fine. That's what the strainer is for. So you can just get out a little bit. So if yours looks fine. So for this, you could use coarse sugar or any other sugar you want. There's also flavored sugar, like these. But I'll start with this one using regular sugar. So you can see it well. You would just take maybe a teaspoon of it and just sprinkle it on lightly and then tap around it just to get an even coating. Then you take your blowtorch And you don't want to do it from right close to it, but like up a little bit, like right here. And once it's there, you can pick it up and then swirl it around just to get an even coating on it. And just to try to get it throughout all of the corners. And then that's set. Now I'm gonna do another example with the other types of sugars. Here's one in a ramekin. It'll work just the same. This time I'm gonna try some of the lemon sugar.
So what is your favorite sugar?
This is a lemon
What is
sugar.
your, what do you prefer? Do you like the flavored sugars or do you go for plain?
I don't know. I think it depends on like maybe in the winter I would prefer like unflavored sugars, but in the summer with like the lemon one, that sounds nice. Once it's on, you could just spread it out a little bit. And then you would just blowtorch it just the same. And that would harden the same. Be careful not to just like hold it when you're doing it. Just keep it on the counter, but it won't be very hot when you're done. And then I could do another example with the strawberry sugar.
I think everybody wants to order your creme brulee.
You can just spread it out with your fingers. You need to add more to cover it. You can. You don't want it to be too thin because if it's too thin, then the sugar will kind of like pool together when it melts like water into droplets, and then it won't be able to cover the entire outside. Sometimes with the sugars though, like this one, there's flavorings in it, so it may not caramelize as well. So just make sure that you don't have like a flavored sugar that has like zest in it, because that'll burn, not caramelize. So as I just finish off the rest of the creme brulee here with the regular sugar, I take any questions.
Patrick, where'd you go?
Oh, I'm right here. One second. Just grabbing the other creme brulees.
I think we all want to take Patrick and Sophie home too, Heather. So cute.
Sophie, I hope I get to taste your creme brulee. I hope you drive some by later.
So if you have any questions, I'll be taking questions.
Oh, it's looking good. You've got one in the water bath. Sophie's got one. Okay, let's go for 5 more, Sophie. So Patrick, after you torch the sugar and you brulee it, can you eat it right away, or does it need to cool down?
Let it set for a few minutes. Then you can just twirl it around just to try to get an even coat. Sugar. I'll still be taking questions. If anyone has any.
I have a question, Patrick. Is your Aunt Heather a picky eater, or will she eat anything you make?
I don't know for sure because she's eaten pretty much everything I've made, but I don't know.
What do you call that? What do you call that meat when you put it in water and you heat it up for 5 hours? That was so good.
Oh yeah, the sous vide. Here I'll show you. It's the cooking method is called sous vide, but the actual machine is called an immersion circulator. So what you do is you put it in water and it heats the water to a consistent temperature, like no matter what. So no matter like how long you cook it for, it'll always be the same temperature. So it's impossible to overcook it. It's also really good because when you have a tough cut of meat that's not super tender, but it has a lot of flavor, you can cook it for a long time without overcooking it while it's still being tender.
I have a question about feed, Patrick. Do you, after you've taken it out, then do you sear it to kind of brown it, or do you just serve it right out of the?
I usually sear it with this blowtorch or sear it in a pan at really high heat. But since it's already cooked, you don't want to go roasting it after because that'll overcook it.
Okay, I think we have about 7 minutes left. Patrick, are we going to see it all set up and ready to eat?
Yep.
I don't know about the rest of the group, but I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, we'll present it right after we finish bruleeing. This is the second to last one. So.
I guess the next question is,
what if you burn it? Can you scrape it off and try again?
If you burn it, yeah, you could. Well, even if you do burn it, you could, since it's hard, you can just like crack around it and just take it out. But it's not really easy to burn it, so I think it'll be pretty easy.
thank you, Francesca. Sorry to see you have to jump off. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Patrick, and everybody. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
So to present it, you could place it on a plate with some berries. You gotta make sure it's hard and add some berries. And then the best part is how, can you hear the like crack?
Oh, perfect. Oh yes, it's like ice fishing.
Yeah, and then cracking into it. Well, you should probably let it cool for like a few seconds longer, but I'll do it on this one, which is already cooled a little bit. Wait, where's the microphone? Wait, is this
So
this?
we have a question out there, Patrick, and that is, have you ever made the custard with different flavors?
Flavors? I have not, but I know that you can. You could maybe do it with brown sugar and like create a mixture that is the same fat content as cream with butter and like milk. And maybe that'll taste like cookie dough. You could do that. Or any flavors really. You can add lemon zest, lemon flavor, cocoa powder to make it chocolate. Pretty much anything you want.
Rick, Sophia has a question. You need to let her know how long it needs to be kept in the water she's asking. So
Okay, so you add it to the water and then 40 minutes. 40 minutes in a 325 oven. Okay, so you can hear this. The microphone's here. Can you hear this? Okay, the microphone's right here, so. Did you hear the cracking sound? Yeah.
Okay, now take a bite and tell us how good it is. Yummy.
The sugar on top is really crunchy, and on the bottom it's very smooth and like creamy. And the top is like super caramelly and crispy. It's really good.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Good.
Mhm. Mhm. So we'll take any last questions now, and I could maybe stay on longer if Sophie has any questions.
Do you see all the comments coming in, Patrick? They're all very impressed with how you can maneuver in the kitchen and handle that blowtorch and get it all whipped up within, what, 45 minutes? That's amazing.
Mhm.
Poor Sophie is still struggling. I see she's kind of running back and forth. Not exactly sure what she's doing.
Sophie, let's separate them. All right, that's good. Once you're there, just wait 40 to 45 minutes and then take it out and then chill it for like 2 hours. Or if you want to eat it hot, you can eat it hot. But traditionally, it's eaten chilled.
Okay. So we're going to wrap it up. It's a beautiful dish. I hope everybody gets to make it this holiday season. And Maureen, any last words or questions?
Oh no, I just cannot thank you enough. Meanwhile, while you're doing this, I'm getting calls about my son needing a root canal. So we know creme brulee with sugar in our immediate future. You've just been awesome, Patrick. Thank you so much. That's stunning.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Excellent job, Patrick. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thank you, Patrick. That was amazing.
Yeah, doesn't look so hard anymore.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Heather, for organizing it.
Thank you.
Sure. Our pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Bye.
And I see, bye-bye. And I see Xiomara out there with her two grandkids. I hope she makes it with her grandkids.
I will. I'll try.
Thank you,
Okay.
Patrick.
Thank you,
That was
Patrick.
nice. I love it.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.